So up till now, we mainly talked about the gaseous pollutants that exist in the atmosphere. Now we'll talk about the particulate pollutants, which are nothing but particles that are present in the atmosphere that are also harmful to us. Particulate pollutants can be classified in two categories: viable pollutants and non-viable pollutants. The simple definition is viable pollutants are minute or very small living organisms that are typically dispersed in the atmosphere. Examples of these are bacteria, fungi, molds, etc., some of which are useful, some of which are harmful to us. The other part consists of non-viable pollutants, which are simply non-living matter. These particles, which are also present in the air, sometimes act as a carrier for the dispersal of the living organisms and indirectly affect us due to the living organisms as well. Some examples of non-viable pollutants are smoke, dust, mist, fumes, etc. How is smoke released? Smoke is released by the incomplete combustion of organic matter in the atmosphere. Dust is released when you grind or you break solid materials. Mist is released when you're typically spraying liquids and some part of it stays back in the atmosphere. Fumes are released whenever different types of vapors try condensing on certain material and some part remains as fumes in the air. So each of these are harmful in certain ways, and whenever their typical concentration increases, it cannot be diluted anymore in the air and you can very clearly feel its presence. In today's day and age, we've definitely felt the harmful effect of smoke in a lot of places, and when smoke combines with fog, it also creates a problem called as smog, which we are now going to study in a little more detail. One of the major types of pollutions in a lot of cities is the concept of smog, which is nothing but a combination of smoke and fog. In fact, the term smog also comes by combining these letters together. Now we've understood what smoke is. It's simply the combustion of organic materials. What is fog? Fog is simply dense air caused by the condensation of water droplets in the air. Right? Now what happens is there's two different types of smog that can be created. The first type of smog is called classical smog, which is nothing but a combination of smoke, fog and sulfur dioxide. This typically is cool and humid in nature, and because of the presence of sulfur dioxide, which is a reducing agent, this type of smog is called reducing smog in general. The other type of smog is called photochemical smog. From the name itself, it suggests that when photo means light, which means that there's some effect of sunlight on some chemicals. When sunlight hits unsaturated hydrocarbons and nitrogen dioxide, both of which are vehicle pollutants, it creates photochemical smog, which means that this typically happens in daylight when there's a lot of vehicular pollutants in the air. This type of smog is typically warm and dry as opposed to classical smog, which is more cool and humid, and due to the presence of nitrogen dioxides and unsaturated hydrocarbons, which are typically oxidizing in nature, this type of smog is called oxidizing smog. So I hope you can understand the concepts of both of these different types of smog and their relative comparisons with each other as well. There are also some equations on photochemical smog which will now appear on your screen. Please note them down.